Who are the tenants that are living in our co-living homes? Like, where do they work? What do they do? How much do they earn?
Typically, we're finding people who are FIFO workers. There's a lot of nurses. There's a lot of cops. There's YouTubers. We have our TikTok yoga instructors. These are people who they're earning a decent income, but not decent that is going to, like, something that's sustainable. But if they were to be living by themselves in a 1 or 2 bedroom apartment, would affect them significantly financially. So we're creating a solution for them to live in a beautiful, big, brand new house with nice new furniture that they don't have to necessarily maintain and worry, oh, is my housemate going to move out and take the fridge? Are they going to take the couch and I'll be left with an empty living room? It's attracting a high income and a better quality tenant, really.
The tenants we know that to remain outside of rent duress, you shouldn't be spending more than 1/3 of your income on your rent. So if somebody's paying $300, $320 for a co-living room, so they're getting a fully furnished bedroom with its own ensuite as part of a larger 3-bedroom home where they're sharing with 2 other tenants, we know that these tenants are earning around $64,000. So these tenants are actually not part of a social or affordable housing solution. It's affordable in terms of, I suppose, the property market, but these are actual employed adults who are full tax-paying citizens like you and I, who are just trying to create a life as close to their place of employment as possible.
So it allows them to live in a beautiful house. It's fully furnished, it's all brand new, in a nice area that's close to where they work, and they're not paying an exorbitant amount of rent at the same time. It's a fantastic solution.
And I suppose one of the things that you mentioned before was, you've lived in some dodgy apartments when you first moved out of home, and so did I. I mean, I think about some of the dog boxes that I lived in. But when you actually think about apartments, right, we already know that 1-bedroom and studio apartments make up less than 5% of the property market. But these single occupant households, which is what each of our co-living tenants technically are because they're signing up under their own lease agreement and paying their own bond, that is the fastest growing household type in Australia and has been for the last 42 years. So you're looking at the fastest growing household type being the most underrepresented in the property market. You then think about where somebody builds an apartment block and how many of those apartment blocks can be a 1-bedroom or a studio. And we know on some of the projects that we've looked at, there might be 100 apartments, but there might only be 5 1-bedders or studios. You then think about where they're being built. They're usually being built in high traffic areas, right? Like close to main road, close to train lines, which is great if you're wanting to be able to walk to the train station. But with that comes noise.
Yeah.
And vertical living. And potentially basement car parking and having to utilise lifts. And not everybody wants to live in an apartment.
With a 1-bedroom apartment, I don't know how many 1-bedroom apartments that you know of that actually come with a car park.
Yes,
as well. Like that. That's very true. Yeah. You're struggling to find a 1-bedroom apartment that actually comes with a car park, and they're scarce now.
Yes.
Like you said, like census data shows that it's the fastest rising household within, I think it was 2041. It's got to be 30% of the total market share. How many 1-bedroom apartments do you ever see in a project?
And are they being delivered in the areas where people are actually wanting to live and where they've got jobs? And suppose one of the examples that we've most recently had was a co-living home that we delivered at Ripley, where we had 3 female tenants. We had a childcare worker, a Woolworths worker, and I think she was a hairdresser or maybe. And they all worked within the town centre, complete and utter strangers to each other, working 500 metres from each other. And I mean, I think we had that property fully tenanted maybe even before the house was fully finished or very close to.
Fast. It was like under a week.
But you sort of can understand it, right? If you go out to that area, I mean, I love Ripley Valley. It's beautiful. You've got brand new schools. But where do you expect the people that work at the school? They may not be the teacher, but they might be the groundskeeper or the canteen worker, or like the example that we've got with the house, where you've got a lady who works at Woolworths, you've got somebody who works at the childcare centre and the hairdresser or the nail technician. How far are they meant to travel to get to work every day? And then even if you went on to REA and did a property search, right, for a one-bedder or a studio, how big a radius are you having to look for to find a one-bedroom or a studio that's fully furnished and not a dog box and is still an affordable outcome?
Something that I love about the way that we've done co-living is because we've been doing it for 4 years. So there's so much research. We interviewed all of those tenants. We asked them all of the things that they're looking for, like having their own aircon, like you say all the time, their own private sanctuary. So they've got their own aircon, the lockable doors, their own bathroom, fans. Not like 5% of the rooms that are actually available on, say your flatmates.com, only 5% of their bedrooms on there and the rooms available even have their own bathroom. So what we're creating and offering is like we're able to capture the top 5% of the market because of what we offer. I can't imagine living in a place without my own bathroom.
Well, I mean, I did once a long time ago, but I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it now. And I can't imagine, when I first moved out of home, I was 21 and I lived with friends. And so, you could bash on the door and I could tell Emily to get out of the bathroom. But if I was working now and I was needing to be near my place of employment or my gym or near family or friends, and I'm 28, 29, 30, 31, there's no way I'd want to be lining up to use the loo of a morning or having to set a timer so that somebody didn't hog all the hot water. That's just not part of how I would want to live.